mistakes. 11 mistakes that you might be making. You probably are in certain cases. And they're going to help make your competitors get rich because they're going to get the business. I'm not talking about the one-off mistakes or making a wrong turn somewhere or, oops, I spent that money on something I shouldn't have. That's not the kind of mistake. This is the big stuff. The big mistakes that can be the difference between excellence and mediocrity. I don't care if you're seasoned, vet, or new to real estate. These are mistakes you don't want to keep making for long. A lot of us make them anyway because we don't know any better. But first, let's define what a mistake really is, okay? There's really, a mistake has two definitions. First definition of mistake. It's an action or judgment that is misguided or wrong. All right. Second one. Nelson Mandela defines it as I never lose. Either I win or I learn. Best opportunity to learn is a mistake. An even better opportunity is somebody else's mistake. You can look and go, well, I'm not going to do that. So enough said about the definition. In no particular order. Here come 11 mistakes that I have found that direct people to your competition eventually, if not right now, eventually. Assuming your competition is not making the same mistakes. First one. You have a plan. Okay, a lot of realtors operate without a plan. But their plan is, my plan is I'm looking out for opportunities and I'm chasing down leads. Maybe I'll do an open house here and there. Now, those agents get business, some, but they also lose business and opportunities. And worse, they face a danger of burnout. Think about it. Who's not going to get burned out if you just wander through for months and years, just winging it, constantly get lackluster results? And I'll suggest if your plan is in your head and you work it whenever you feel like it, you don't have a plan. Okay. Another thing, I'm sure some of you in this group went to the business plan event last year. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You probably developed a great plan. Okay. But maybe you're not doing those activities that you committed to, at least as often as you said you would when you're all excited after the end of the day. If that's the case, you don't really have a plan either. Big thing, I love this expression. And to have a plan that works, you got to work the plan. Yeah? Otherwise, does anyone disagree with that? Plan it. And that starts with the plan for the day, plan for the week, plan for the month, plan for the year. It's not just the big plan. Second one, you don't build your business around your database. Okay, I will say this, old research and new research both show the same thing. Between 70 and 80% of a closed transaction of a realtor's business stems somehow from someone you know, indirect or direct. Starts there. And that includes past clients. That includes business relationships, your kids' teachers, anybody you have built any kind of relationship with, even the people that service you, like maybe you have a CPA, etc. Okay, and I get flabbergasted sometimes when I see agents who do so little to leverage their database, turning those people into your advocates. Even if you barely know them, everybody starts not knowing everybody. We don't know anybody when we're born. And we meet people as we grow, right? So we develop those relationships. Okay. And I'll say this, just putting a name and a contact info in Command doesn't cut it. Or in whatever your CRM you're using. Because those CRMs, they don't make the calls for you. They don't write the notes. They don't review the market updates. They don't drop by to say hi. They don't do any of that stuff. So if they're just sitting there, it's like having money and burying it underground and then forgetting where you buried it. And there's a science behind getting your top of mind, getting you to be top of mind with a large number of people. And it involves purposeful and effective attention to your database of people who know you. Okay, talking about people who know you. Okay. Third mistake, you don't make lead gen your main thing. That's a Gary Keller thing. Why not? If you don't lead gen, you're not going to get future business. You're not going to get much. So into lead gen, it's work. Do you block 3 to 4 hours a day for lead gen? Okay, we'll say you don't. My next question is, what do you do with that time instead? That's better than lead gen. We all have the same amount of time, right? And if you do block your time, are you doing effective lead gen? Is it something that counts, something that matters? Or are you just kind of like designing the new postcard to send out to people you don't know? If you're not doing effective lead gen during that block time, what are you doing instead? We're going to talk about that in a minute too. Also, do you track your lead sources so you know better where to focus your attention? And do you rehearse what you're going to say? If you haven't been doing it daily, you got to know what you're going to say. What more so, what you say is way less important than what you ask. The questions you ask to lead to what you need to know about people and to make them feel like you care, because you should care. All right. Fourth one, you don't focus on listings. It's a mistake. Buyers are great, but how many can you efficiently work at one time? I'm going to show you this weekend. If you got 5 buyers, and they all want to look at property this weekend. You ever had that happen? I have. And I remember way back when I could finally hire a buyer's agent. It was a game changer. A game changer. Yeah, I'm giving away so much of that buyer agent commission to someone else doing it for me, but I could focus on listings. Doesn't think you're not the listings, you've got to do them right. But when it comes to spending your time, big tip: the real estate reviews we went through a few weeks back. Get good at those. That's your practice. That's your practice in doing presentations to sellers. And you're going to be dealing with people who may have no intention to sell. But at the same time, you might be building a warm pipeline of future sellers. And if you're not doing them, you don't have listings, you don't have a pipeline, you don't have referrals, what are you doing instead? And there's an expression, lead with listings. Some of us have heard that, yeah? Even if you have 0 listings right now and no serious prospects, you need to call yourself a listing agent. Do it with conviction. You say, I'm a listing agent. But Mike, you've never done any listings. I don't care. I'm a listing agent. That's what I do. Okay. If you're an attorney that just graduated from law school, you don't have any clients. Are you going to call yourself an attorney? Or are you going to call yourself, well, I'm a guy who just graduated? No. In fact, I want to do something. I'm going to take a half a minute here and do it right now. I don't care if you're on Zoom. If you're on Zoom, please unmute for a second, just for a second. If you're there, wherever you're at, just do this with conviction. I'd like you to say out loud, I'm a listing agent. On 3.
I'm a listing agent.
I'm a listing agent.
I'm a listing agent.
Jackie, what are you?
I am a listing agent.
I'm a listing agent.
Okay. Do that every single day. It's called an affirmation. You know what an affirmation does? It trains your brain. You say, I'm a listing agent. And when you train your brain, pretty soon your actions follow, yeah? If your brain isn't trained to say, you have to believe, I'm not just say, but believe you're a listing agent. And I've got some good examples of people that from the past who have, one of them is in the top 5 in the region as far as listings for KW, works at the Chico Market Center, who started out as brand new agent, who was at the very first meeting, I'm gonna do it, and we did it. And it works. All right, 5th mistake. You don't disrupt your competition. What does disrupt mean? It means making them look around and go, whoa, what's going on here? Everything from your open houses. Are they just plain? You show up, go, oh God, here's 2 hours. Or do you make them special? Your social media presence, your seller marketing plan, and how you present it. The hospitality you show towards your customers and clients. Your marketing, is it high quality stuff or is it just, copy paper with a black and white flyer? And what about these things? Maybe, especially for more seasoned agents, are you doing past client get-togethers? Are you sponsoring special events that you actually show up for and get involved with, not just throw the money at them? Okay. Somebody who's hosting this meeting today does that, just that. Not me, talking about Mr. Beasley. You join a local organization and be active. It's like they're going to look at you and say, oh boy, Ashley Ortiz, she's everywhere. Dak, what? Whoa, they look out. The list is endless. In Austin, I rented real estate in Austin for a number of years. We farmed about 2,000 homes in 5 adjacent neighborhoods. They were all the villages of Shady Hollow, the estates of Shady Hollow, all sorts of things, right? We always sponsored we were the sole sponsor for the big kid Halloween party. We were the sole sponsor for the Thanksgiving turkey trot, for the Christmas fair. And then we started an event which still goes on today. It's called the New High School Graduate Parade. So all the high school graduates in the neighborhood did a little parade in their car, and they dressed up their car and all that. And, all their parents and people were on the sidelines just cheering and all that sort of thing. And they each got a little certificate and money and all these sorts of things. And, but just things like that. And here's the thing, our competition that tried to move in, they had a really tough time to disrupt us. You want to know why? Because we were already causing disruption. And for them, it was just like, oh, I want to be. So get ahead of it. I do see a few successful realtors in our area really disrupting things, and they always have, but most don't. So what about you? Okay. Number 6, you don't have a seller process when you do have a seller. So I'll ask these questions, and you can answer to yourself yes or no, or what is it? Do you have a pre-listing packet that you use? Most don't. Do you? Do you have a standard seller consultation interview? Okay. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you do, have you done it 50 or more times? And if you don't have 50 or more listing appointments, practice with other agents counts. Do the whole thing 50 or more times. That doesn't even make you an expert. That doesn't even make you master at it, but it makes you pretty good, doesn't it? Have you done at least 50 CMAs? Live CMAs, if you haven't been, pick a property. Just pick a property in Pacific Grove and Salinas, whatever, and do a CMA on it. If you haven't done at least 50, do 50. Fully put them together. Don't print them, but put them together. Get good at it where it's like the back of your hand. Do you have a written marketing plan for your sellers? In writing, nice. Do you offer staging, video, professional photography? Okay. Are you an expert with your local market? I mean, we can keep putting hot sheet stuff and monthly stats and all that at you. Are you paying attention to those? Are you pulling them yourself? You need to be an expert on the local market. You got to know more than your clients do. Okay. Do you have a dynamic and very visual presentation for when you reach the part about the pricing and the marketing piece of your listing presentation? That's gotta be memorable. Do you provide your sellers with a weekly update? Like a phone call, perhaps, or even an email with all the how many showings, so on and so forth. And are you familiar with the common seller objections and how to respond to those? Have you practiced? Practice. And I'll say, it doesn't matter if you have 10 listings, 1 listing, or 0 listings, you need a process. You need to be able to take one and not go, oh crap, I got a listing. What am I going to do? Let me call Ben. Let me call Scott. You should have that process down. If you don't have it yet, work on it. Maybe you don't have a buyer process. Same things. Do you have an effective buyer consultation? An effective one. Have you mastered the BRBC? Big question in that. Do you understand? And do you feel confident about your value to earn that money you're asking for? Even if you say, I'm going to get the seller to pay for that, yada, 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 they're going to say, wow, if I buy $1 million house, you get 25,000. Are you earning that? Yeah. But do you even know what it is that is creating that value? Okay. Are you in frequent touch with the buyers on your hot list or your warm list? Do you even have a hot list or a warm list? Do you have systems for helping out with the home search, or do you wait for them to tell you, like Zillow, I'll let you know when I have the property? Which means, are you checking expireds? Are you checking FSBOs? Are you checking members only? Big step above and beyond. If there's nothing absolutely available and they're looking for particular neighborhoods, you ever wrote letters to homeowners whose house might meet your buyer's criteria? Just just a regular letter. One of our agents did that for a long time. Had very good success with it. Are you familiar with new home developments and how that process works? Yes, you get paid on those, on some of them. And lastly, are you familiar with the common buyer objections and how to respond to those? Okay. And do you practice that? Practice it, be good at it. Okay. Right. First, okay, flow. If you don't know what flow is, it's real simple. It's frequency of interaction, like how often you interact with people. And it's married to the quality of that interaction. So quickly, how often do you touch the people in your sphere? For the people you don't know, you know who they are, but you don't really know them. Do you have what's called a 12 direct program? Next question. Do you know what a 12 direct program is? If you don't, reach out. For people that you have met, that you do know, do you have a 36 touch? Do you know what a 36 touch is? Basically, what a good 36 touch is: one personal touch per month, and then 2 auto flow months per month. That just, you set it up and it goes automatically. But there's one personal touch in that. And on the other question, do you know what an 8x8 program is? For people you know, but you haven't talked to them in a long, long time, or you don't know them very well. And keep in mind, through different means, most of the big players in any market, not just Monterey Carmel, stay in flow. That's a big, big thing. If you get back in flow, it fixes everything. It really does. It fixes all the flaws of your business. Because now you got people that know who you are and they trust you and know you. Number 9, another mistake: if you don't have any routines or rituals to help you perform at your top level. Because other professionals have routines and rituals, start their day right. Sports, business, sales, etc. Then the same rituals allow them to stay productive in a smart way. So do you have a morning routine that gets you up and ready? A good morning routine. Maybe start with gratitudes. Maybe go to affirmations. Gratitudes when you're still in bed. Affirmation, maybe when you're still in bed. Some people write them. Okay, do you read maybe 10 or 15 minutes of positive reading every day? Okay. Do you not look at your email just yet? As a morning, you get woke up, right? And then do you have a set routine throughout the day that keeps you organized and focused? I can't tell you how many real estate agents I've seen in the office, any office, that are just sitting there. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Well, I'm just, they're kind of trying to figure out. You should never have to figure out what to do. There's so much to do, so long as you have it set up. Or you're the person that just gets up, sips coffee, grab a bagel, and try to figure out what to do today. That's the mistake. Almost at the end here. Number 10, you don't focus on the vital few. All of us have the same 24 hours. All of us have to sift between 2 types of activities that exist. The first type of activity are the vital few. Those are tasks that produce money-making results, directly or indirectly. And look at it this way. If let's say you had a qualified assistant, say you had to have an assistant, and you're going to pay that assistant $100 an hour right now for your business. You got to write that check every week. What would you have that person do for you right now? And let's say they're qualified, they're as qualified as you. What would you have that person do for you right now? Well, $100 an hour. That could define your vital few right there. Okay. The second type of activity, we'll call the trivial mini. Those are things that need to be done. They might need to be done, but they don't really advance your business much. Let's call it $18 an hour work. Okay, it's got to get done, but are you spending too much time on that and not enough time on your vital few? The first thing to ask, though, are those trivial mini things, are they really necessary? Do they directly or indirectly lead to a transaction? If they don't, think about it. Maybe you're not spending your time the right way. I mean, we're in the business of helping people, but we're not a nonprofit. And we cannot keep helping people without getting paid, right? Goes both ways. So ask, which of your vital few activities are worth the highest income per hour? That's where you need to focus your attention and the majority of your time. Okay. Last mistake people make. In my opinion, this is perhaps the biggest mistake on the whole list. Think about the expression, you don't know what you don't know, which means you don't even know what a question to ask. how many lawsuits that's led to? Because an agent just didn't know. It's not that they did something wrong. They just didn't know. So my suggestion here, take all the classes you can. All of them. Everything you can possibly do. That's vital for your time. Go to family reunion events. Go to Mega Camp. Those are amazing, awesome events. Ben did not over-describe it. If anything else, he under-described it. It's amazing. And then consider getting help from your resources here. You've got local ownership, all with experience. You've got me with experience. You've got other agents around. Don't bury them in problems and questions, but why not take someone out to lunch? And I asked too, do you read? I don't like to read. It's a pain. I don't want to do. Okay, if you don't, get a subscription to Apple Books or audiobooks. You can listen to the stuff on your way home or on your walk or instead of TikTok or whatever. So the more points of view you get from learning, the better your vision becomes. The quicker you get to the place where you run your best business, I think. If you run your best business, which is designed around how you like to work, doing the right things at the right time, you live your best life. Okay? So don't make any of those 11 mistakes. If you're making them now, let's work on that. Okay? Any questions or thoughts or